I can see there are some more people in the waiting room,
yes,
I think.
we're accepting them.
Perfect.
So, yeah. My colleagues are there who have the co-host rights, so they are working on that. So thank you so much, Nina, for joining us. I'll hand it over to you. You could introduce and then take over.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Deepali. Well, great to see quite a few of you. I know that it must have been difficult to be here on time, considering it's 7 p.m. for you. Here it's still 3:30. I'm here in Breukelen at our campus with my colleague Ilse. So my name is Nina Ponte. I am the head of admissions here for the master program. And Ilse van Vliet, she is our program manager located in Breukelen. So we have this session for you just to inform you about our master program, what it is, what we offer, who we are, and also practicalities of it all. So what does it take to come to the Netherlands, visa information, and of course, after you've completed your program, what can you expect from your stay here in the Netherlands? I have a presentation, but mostly I would also like to know from you, what are your questions, your concerns? So this really is the opportunity to ask your questions. So feel free to ask anything you would like to know. If we don't know, that's of course also a possibility. We can get back to you as well. But between the two of us, I think most questions we should be able to answer. I think it's recording, but I think hopefully it's working. So I'm not too familiar with Zoom. Here at Nyenrode, we mostly use Teams. So if I have some difficulties with sharing my screen, my apologies in advance, but let me try to share my screen and show you our PowerPoint.
In the meantime, I'll request everybody please to mute yourselves so that there's no disturbance and distraction. Thank you in advance.
And if you have any questions, you can put on the chat.
Yep, that's a good one.
We can see your screen, Nina.
Perfect. That was what I was hoping. Now I just need to, from beginning. Excellent. So yes, well, here we're actually not in this in the castle. Our office, unfortunately, is just in a normal building, but this is a picture of the Breukelen, the castle, our famous view from our Breukelen location, and hopefully where we can welcome many of you in January. I have a short video where you can get a little bit of an idea of what it's like to walk around here on campus. This was taken last year when we had some snow during winter time from Bernard, who was one of our students. And I'll just quickly show this to you to give you an impression.
My name is Bernard Ferreira from South Africa. I'm 25 years old, MSc 29. I just want to show you guys the Nyenrode Castle here in Breukelen, which is obviously part of the big image of Nyenrode, and it's super cool for international students and everyone around. But there's not all Nyenrode campus has to offer, so come with me and let me show you campus life.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to.
The big image of Nyenrode, and it's super cool for international students and everyone around. But there's not all Nyenrode campus has to offer, so come with me and let me show you campus life. As you can see now, we're here by the Kutshuis, which is part of the NCV, which is a newer company from Farah, which is the Student Association of Nyenrode. So at the bottom we have many student events like Jazz Night, Transfer Dinner, etc., and all of the rest which you'll still learn about. And on the first floor we've got our Zolder Bar, which is one of two bars that we have on campus, and I'm currently now on the Middenpad, which you will find yourself walking along, not only for academic but also for social side. And right next to the Kutshuis we also have one of our 2 study centers on campus. So now we're here by the small nature reserve on Nyenrode campus, which is super cool for students who just feel like getting a break during their studies or going for a walk during the day. especially for international students. You don't really see this often, and we're really privileged to have this. And yeah, it's a nice getaway just for the day. Now we're on the Nyenrode estate still, where we are walking next to the nature reserve, where we have hatches and a few nandus, which is super cool for the international students. Next to that, we've also got a rugby field, indoor sports hall, and a gym, which is super cool. Next to that, we've got our Mensa, which is the lunch and dinner facilities, where we have the NCV hosts the main table events, which is dinner and debates, which is really nice for students to get together in the evenings. And that is held on Mondays. And so after that, let me take you to the library and the Albert Heijn building. So we're on the middenpad now, and to the right you can see the Placement Hotel, which is one of two hotels
Are you happy?
on campus. If you're an international, your parents are more than welcome to come stay here, and we have many externals and executive MBA programs that take place during the week, and most people make use of these facilities. We are currently at the Albert Heijn building, where you can mostly find reception, and most of your lectures will take place here, as well as program management can be found here, and your lecturers in case you need to contact them. And directly across the Albert Heijn building you get the library, where mostly after lectures you will come discuss things with your group, where you can find silent rooms to do your own study, or cubicles to also do your own study if you really want to focus for exams. Now we're at the beginning of the middenpad, so whatever lies behind me is what I just told you, from the library, the Mensa, to the castle, to the nature reserve, and beyond this is where our daily lives take place, where the student lives, and where we all interact with one another. And let me show you around. We've come to the end of our Nyenrode campus tour that I gave you. Sorry that I couldn't give you the full campus tour, but hopefully when Corona's done and you guys have the opportunity to come to campus, you'll have a full experience of what it's really about, and I guarantee it will not disappoint you. So thank you for watching, and yeah, good luck.
All right, so yeah, this was taken during Corona times. Unfortunately, I have to say that is no longer the situation at the moment here, and things are really much more back to buzzing and lots of things happening on campus. Yeah, so that was a little bit of an idea of the Breukelen location, which also what we will be looking at for you. So just a quick thing about Nyenrode and our core values. This is something that we really keep in mind with everything we do within our lectures, with how we communicate with you as students, leadership, entrepreneurship, and stewardship. This is really the core to what we like to teach you on and discuss with you and help you in your future career as well. So this is something, and Ilse can maybe later on talk about this if there's more questions about it. But these three things are really part of everything that we do here at Nyenrode, and also from the program management team, the career development team, everyone constantly keeps this in mind with our interaction with you. So our full-time Master of Science program, 16 months. But for you, as you'll be looking at joining us directly in a master program, we will be looking at 12 months, because obviously coming via SPJIMR, the first 4 months, the pre-master, are not something that you will need to take place. So for you, we'll be looking at a 12-month program completely in English. We have 3 specialization tracks, and we can talk about this a little bit more. But in the second half of your master program, you will be going into a specific track. Also part of the track is the Global Immersion Program, in which you will be going abroad. We have an Amsterdam campus as well. So even though we're now located in Breukelen, and this is also where you would be living, during your track part of the master program, it might be possible that you'll be studying in Amsterdam, which obviously is also a great benefit, because then you have the best of both worlds. You'll be living here in Breukelen and really be immersed in the Nyenrode family, joining the NCV, our student association. But at the same time, you might be taking classes in Amsterdam and really having that metropolitan feel and being right in the city center of Amsterdam. And then, like I mentioned, we have the Breukelen campus, the tight community, and the alumni network. These are two of the strong points of Nyenrode. We're a small private university with a lot of focus and emphasis on staying in touch after you graduate. So our alumni network, this is a really important factor. We have a lot of alumni that are sponsoring new students. We are constantly keeping in touch via networking conferences, company visits, all sorts of things to really make sure that this relationship stays and remains very strong. And this is a huge benefit of graduating from Nyenrode when you compare it to any of the other bigger universities here in the Netherlands. Personal development, this is also key, and later on in this presentation there's a little small part about this as well. Another good thing to take into account when thinking of Nyenrode is that we are a private university, fully accredited, and score very well in different rankings. And this is something that obviously we're very proud of, and we're constantly trying to stay on top of it as well. So within the Netherlands and also within European accreditations, we do very well, and our graduates also tend to find jobs very easily and quickly. Especially now in the Netherlands, there's a lot of jobs. We're in desperate need. Our government is in desperate need for highly skilled migrants, expats to come here. So if you're thinking of going and working in the Netherlands, this definitely is a good time. Just a few numbers to show that within 3 months, 87% of our graduates have found a job, and the starting salary is also quite good. One of the benefits as well of coming and studying in the Netherlands is that after you graduate, you have different options of remaining in the Netherlands. So you can apply for a search-year visa, giving you a 1-year time frame to apply for a job, to start your own company, or to find another education if you wish. Nyenrode is very, into helping you starting companies as well. We've got an incubator in Amsterdam that you can where you can work from, and where you can do your things in if you don't have an office yet, and you can use that search-year visa to find a job. Then after that, you can apply for a highly skilled migrant visa, and you can remain here in the Netherlands for 5 years with a lot of tax benefits as well. So really, of course, your aim with us is to learn and to get a great education, but more importantly, it is a gateway to having a career here in the Netherlands. And that is really why a lot of students from overseas come and choose Nyenrode. And I'm more than happy to answer questions about this later on as well. A little bit about the master phase. So when you join us in January, you will first do core courses. These are really important for everyone who is aiming to have a good position in any bigger company, or as starting your own company. So these are important courses that every MSc student will need to do. I won't go into detail because I want to save time for you to answer questions, but these are our core courses, after which you will all be going into the track of your choice. So we have 3 different tracks: global business, digital business and innovation, and financial management. Here you can see the different directions that these tracks will take you. Followed by the global immersion module. And again, my colleague and program manager Ilse, she knows all about this. Me as part of the admissions, or the head of admissions, this is not my cup of tea, but the global immersion module luckily is completely back on now that COVID is gone and the world is open. So there's international travel involved. After that, research in business administration, followed by the thesis. So this is in a nutshell what the program would look like for you. Now, as part of our pre-master in the Netherlands, all students will take the academic reading and writing course. For you, this is not something that you will take part in as you're not doing our pre-master. Therefore, as we do find it very important for you to be able to directly join us and be at the same level as everyone else, we have also decided to offer you an academic reading and writing workshop, which will take place for you online while you're still in India. But this is something that we found that is very useful for you to get an understanding and a feeling of what our academic teachings look like, and for you to be able to directly move in with the rest of our students. So you should think about the APA rules to be able to summarize, read, and extract peer review academic papers. This is something that we offer to all students coming and starting in the master from SPJIMR. Then a little bit about personal development, a small video to give you a bit of an idea of what we offer in that respect.
The program combines 3 principles: solid academic theory, personal development, and practical relevance. We hand you all the tools to kickstart your career after completing the program. Also, we have a career and personal development office. And the head of the department, Mr. Willem van Dongen, will tell you what they do for you.
What we do is that you will encounter us in several career conversations during your MSc management program, which means that together with 2 others, you will talk and give us an update on your career, and we'll help you, we'll coach you and mentor you and connect you as well to companies. We provide you with dozens of workshops. We have a platform that we use to connect with students as well, but also it's part of the structured program, the program we have to make sure that you really can build a successful career after Nyenrode.
Just a very short snippet there. This really was it for what I wanted to show you before we move on to the more interactive part. I specifically chose to not show you too much about the visa, the application process, because I thought we can communicate about this now. I wanted to use this presentation more to give you a little bit of an insight into who we are, what Nyenrode looks like, and the program. But of course, for now, I would like to move on to your questions and to the things that you still would like to know before you make up your mind of coming to Nyenrode for the master program. So I'll stop sharing. And I'm not sure if there were already some questions.
Yes, Nina. Collected some questions. One question is, if when they are joining us, when they start here in June, do they already need to tell you which MSc specialization they are going to join, or they have some time to do that?
So with the track choice, that's a good question. So when you will join us, when the student is joining us in January, before that, we will already contact them and we will give you the access to presentations, to information, and everything you need to know about the 3 different tracks. Because the track choice will take place prior to the start of the master program. So we give you all the tools to make a decision, an informed decision about what the track of your choice is. You can send it back to us and we'll divide you between the 3 different tracks. Am I right, Ilse? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this could be done somewhere around September?
In December.
Yeah, it's
December. So they have enough time to decide.
They have, yeah.
Definitely.
And in the meantime, once they are there at SPJIMR, if they have any queries, they can always come to you and get directions in selecting the tracks.
Definitely. Yeah. If the information that we have provided is not enough, we can always have a one-on-one talk with the student just to see if we can help them making their choice. So that is always an option.
Over to the participants. If you have any questions, please unmute yourselves and you can ask them, or if you can type them.
Yeah, I can't see the chat box, I think, but
Divya, I think you could you change the settings so that it's visible to everyone? Right now, maybe it's only visible to the host.
Sorry, Dipali?
No, Divya Johari. If she's logged in from the other ID, if she can change.
It's visible to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then there's no questions. Well,
Okay, Bharani is there. Yes.
so what I wanted to show within the with the video and a small presentation is that we do have the 2 different locations, but we're looking at starting in Breukelen. Just one of the reasons being that in Breukelen we offer on-site housing, which takes a lot of stress and difficulties from looking for accommodation away from students, because Amsterdam is quite difficult to find that. Also, we have a very active student association, and also prior to you arriving in the Netherlands, we will make sure that you'll be put into contact with the student association, so you can talk about joining different committees. If you have an interest in, being part of a committee, it might be a committee that organizes, fun activities or enhances the international vibe at university, or maybe something more networking wise. This is something that we really like for you to experience as well. Therefore, we're looking at a start joining us in Breukelen. So that was what I wanted to inform you. Then as part of the admissions process, I will be taking care of your whole visa application. We'll be applying for an entry visa to come to the Netherlands and a resident permit for your whole stay here during your master period. After, you can apply for several other visa, like I mentioned. We also really try to help you finding your way in the Netherlands, albeit via internships, which are not a mandatory part of the master program. But if things are going well and you're doing great in your studies, it is an option for you to join a company via an internship or traineeship, and that way start building on your career for after your time here at Nyenrode. Pretty much all international students remain in the Netherlands after they graduate, and at the moment I'm very busy helping them finding their way, applying for the gap year visa, or some even the highly skilled migrant visa already. We're always happy to put you in contact with current students if there's something that you would feel that might help you getting an understanding of what it's like coming to the Netherlands as an international student. So these are all things that we offer and that we do to help you, getting to the Netherlands in the right way.
Hi Nina, this is Samarth here.
Hi.
Hi. I'm actually an MBA candidate. So I just wanted to know if there's anything else that I should know, since the PowerPoint covered mainly the MSc program.
The MBA, that's a good question. So we're both part of the program management team for the Master of Science program, not the MBA. MBA is located in our Amsterdam location. That is the first thing to really realize, that we're talking constantly about Breukelen, but for you, you would be looking at Amsterdam, as that is where the MBA is located.
And as you mentioned, like, since there's not in-house housing on the campus on the Amsterdam one, like, would it be different for MBA, or would I still have to look for housing?
I know that Nyenrode has some apartments or studio apartments available that they offer to MBA students and to other students as an option for you if you are unable to organize your own housing. So there is always a backup option, that we do have some things that we can help you with. And my colleagues from the MBA team should be able to tell you more about them. I know that they're very high-end studio apartments there, but you're right. So since we have an inner city campus, there's no on-site living. So there is a bit of travel to get to that housing.
Could I just pitch in, Nina, here? Samarth, that will be a good idea to connect with Parak and Samriddhi Agarwal.
Absolutely.
Nyenrode does help you, and there's an apartment, a hostel kind of a thing which is available. And yes, of course, those are studio apartments, and it's like a single person stays there. but you can always connect with them and figure out, because I think they students prefer staying there because it's a student community and it's, you know, you get to meet a lot of people and learn a lot from each other.
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
I'll connect you to Pushkar or Samriddhi. Just connect with me after the session.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so
Over
much.
to you,
Thank
Meena. I think we have some questions on the chat.
Hey, hi,
Process.
Nina. I
Hi.
hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for that presentation with well enough sufficient information. The only concern that I had was I want to know if there is any particular admission or selection criteria for Nyenrode. I mean, if you have say 100 seats, and so what there would be some selection criteria, right? Or if there is not any.
So first, yeah, I'm glad that you're here and good that you're asking questions. So this is our, cooperation that we have, and that I'm in contact with Deepali. So she'll do all the initial the stages of the application process, and then with us. So we're in constant contact, and then there's nothing else that I would need to check from you. At that point in time, you will get the admissions of the acceptance letter from Nyenrode at a later point, and we'll take it from there. But there's no additional documentation that I would need from you.
All right.
So Bhargavi, I'll just run you through. I think you would have seen our website for the eligibility criteria. So that remains the same for Nyenrode as well. Additionally, you have to complete your application and mail it to the ID that we've given it to you. In case anybody has still not submitted the application form, please connect with us on the gmp.admissions ID from where we've been communicating with you, and we'll send you the links. Please complete the application form at the earliest, because a lot of you need to resign. The sooner you complete the process at your end, we'll be able to process things at our end. So please help us help you complete the process at the earliest.
No, for sure, that is absolutely right. Especially, a lot of academic programs, most of them start in September, but quite a few in January as well. Plus, we have the Christmas break. This means that for us to be able to apply for your visa and get that part of the application going, we need quite some time as well. Because I would like to be in contact with you to know, when are you coming to the Netherlands? When can we expect you on campus? We can make sure that there's staff here to welcome you to campus, to get you to your room and stuff like that. So for that, it's important that we'll know quite soon who we can expect and can guide everyone until the time that you're here, basically.
So Nina, there's another question from Shreya. She says, how does the process of getting a job or internship work? What kind of job roles can we seek? So Shreya, sorry, before that, just you'll have to give us a slight idea. Do you have any experience at all? Are you a fresher? Because I think that will help them answer the question better. So if you can just please unmute and tell us a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So we, like was shown in the video as well, we do have a team, PLCD, Personal Leadership and Development team, that is really here to help you, especially in exactly this, with this, finding the way, what area has your interest? Is it finance? Is it something else? We have a very extensive network within Nyenrode with our alumni network. So this is the main source that we use to help students. Then, of course, there's a lot of communication between students as well. And this is something that we really try with current MSc students, with the next generation of MSc students, to help each other see, okay, what did I do to get into Philips or Unilever or any other, big multinational that we have here in the Netherlands. And also from the program management team, we really try to do what we can by organizing different lectures and catch-up meetings, things like that. Like I mentioned before, the internship is not a mandatory part of our program. So our first concern always is that you pass all your subjects, that you can graduate on time, or at least with the least amount of delay. if this is possible and you do find that you have extra time, for instance, during your thesis, the block when you're working on your thesis, this is where we can, can help you finding that internship or traineeship. I don't know, Ilse, do you deal with students who actually do traineeships? Is there something that you can share? Or
well, I think it's indeed the best advice to first focus on the academics program, on the academical side of the program. And then indeed, as Nina said, when you have time left and when you think, okay, I'm going through this quite easily, there you have some options to do an internship. But the main focus will always be the academic program. So that's a good advice.
Yeah. And then, like I mentioned, after you graduate, the gap year visa is always there. It's always, an option as soon as you have your diploma to apply for this gap year visa, extending your stay with another year, and continue with the traineeship, with that internship, to eventually have the company take over the sponsorship that Nyenrode has had for you during your studies, by getting the highly skilled migrant visa. So it is important to already start thinking about job opportunities and working on your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and just your network while you're here at Nyenrode, just to keep on the future. But of course, the graduation is, for us being the academic part, always something that we keep hammering on, that diploma is the first thing to get.
So Shreya she's an engineer with experiences in business analytics of 2.5 years. So I'm sure this experience is going to help her grab an internship.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Nyenrode is a very strong name in the Netherlands, and having a diploma from Nyenrode is, if you remain in the Netherlands, a very good thing. But having said that, practical experience, having work experience really helps. Within the master program, we're looking at students who have between 1 and 3 year work experience. So if you have a lot more work experience, the MSc program might not be for you. You might be looking at the MBA indeed. But having that practical experience as an international student combined with a master program is really something that is quite useful and in demand. Like I mentioned, at the moment in the Netherlands, we do not have enough people to fill all the positions. A lot of multinationals are moving to Rotterdam, not just Amsterdam. Amsterdam is kind of exploding with companies, but other cities as well. So it's really, there's a lot happening here in different fields for sure. And 2.5 years is perfect match for our program.
Hi Nina, this is Lohit. I hope you're well. I just had a question. I'm also an MBA applicant. I just had a question regarding the language. How important is language when it comes to job vacancies? And on average, how many of the job vacancies require Dutch as a requirement for you to apply in the first case? Speaking from an MBA perspective, hope you can add to that, right?
No, I mean, Dutch is always a concern, first and foremost, because it's a ridiculously difficult language to learn. But don't worry, on the job market, more and more companies, there you do not require to speak Dutch at all. I know many expats, mostly because my partner is from Australia, who do not speak a single word of Dutch. I always do recommend to at least try, if you find the time, to do some sort of beginner's course, just for you to feel at home. I feel you can have small conversations when you're here. But in regards to building a career, no, there's no need to speak Dutch. So hopefully that gives you a peace of mind.
That definitely helps. I think in SPJIMR we also have a language course for 6 months, so I think that definitely helps as well. Thank you for the advice.
So Lohit, just to add on to what Nina said, it's not mandatory to know the language, but of course, when you're there, I mean, it's very natural. When we meet for coffee breaks or you're out with your friends, you switch to Hindi. The same way, if the locals are there, they'll switch to Dutch. So it's not only necessary for you to work, you also require the language to mingle around with your colleagues and, you know, have some social life. So knowing the language definitely helps.
Yeah.
And if the organizations see that you're putting in effort to learn the language, a lot of them have sponsored our alumni to learn the language. So the organizations are also very, very open. And I think Nyenrode does give you a buddy who's like, you know, a Dutch, and they encourage you to go and visit their families and, you know, go on holidays with them so that you can learn the culture and practice the language alongside.
Okay, I have one more question actually for Deepali actually. Are the language classes mandatory in SPJIMR? So they are mandatory.
We have them first thing in the morning so that you're really fresh. All the students, from GMP go to Germany, France and Netherlands. So we have 2 hours of language depending on which country you're going to. And believe me, Lohit, it really helps. Though Amsterdam is like you know, Netherlands is perfect. You really don't need the language. There are a lot of apps. Wi-Fi is free. You really don't need to know the language to travel or anything. But when you're staying there, you want to have some friend circle, you want to have a social life, it definitely helps.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And of course, you need to take into account, even though we are an international program, most of our students are still Dutch. So of course, we always, you know, keep telling them English is our main language all the time in all communication. But you're right, when you're between, you know, your friends, it's very easy for them to start talking in Dutch because that's just their mindset. And if you know, that's a way to learn it as well. But if you already have a little bit of practice, that helps. But yeah, everyone from people in the supermarket to, you know, your professor, everyone speaks English. So yeah, that's
great. Also, do we have any MBA classes in the other campus other than the Amsterdam one, or is it is the entire program in Amsterdam itself?
The full-time MBA program is only in Amsterdam. There is also the executive MBA program, but that's then you need a bit more work experience than 3 years, and that is also on different locations. But the full-time MBA is focused on the other location. So it depends a bit.
All right, fine. Thank you.
It's only 20 minutes away from each other,
That's
Breukelen
true.
and Amsterdam. Yeah. It's, you know, very easy to reach via train or a car.
Yeah.
So even though, you know, you might be living and studying in Amsterdam, there might still be things happening in Breukelen for you that are interesting, and an opportunity to come and visit the different locations. I highly recommend to do so. And the other way around as well, go to the Amsterdam every now and then to get a feeling of what it's like to be there. From our program management team as well, we have people in both locations, and we try to always switch around as well, so to see as many people as we can and to keep that relationship with students from both locations for the master program, that is.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nina, I have a question. The career services are separately for the Amsterdam campus and for the castle, or the career services offices?
They're there for both, but they're located in Breukelen. So that is very convenient. If you study here, there you can just knock on their door and join them and have a cup of coffee to discuss your plans. So they're located here.
So the MBA candidates also come there to your campus for the career services?
Also, the students from Amsterdam can contact them. Yeah. So if they are here, they can always stop by, of course. But if they are living in Amsterdam, it might be easier to send them an email, and then they will contact you to have a meeting. So they will always help you out, no matter if you are a student in Amsterdam or in Breukelen.
Thank you. Please feel free to just unmute and ask your questions. It'll be easier. So just to give you both a background, we actually had a webinar with the alumni. There's a lady called Namita Sunny who's just graduated. So she Yes, so she kind of answered a lot of questions related to Nyenrode.
Oh, that makes my job very easy.
That's really
Yes,
nice.
so that's the reason there are less questions for you.
Yeah, well, most students have finished their have graduated or are just about to graduate. I'm in contact with a couple of them still who are just at the final stretch and have some questions about visa things, for instance. But most of them are already done and ready for the next step. Oh, that's great that she did that.
Also, just to add on, in 2019, we had an alumnus called Bhavya who actually worked at the Nyenrode office. So, you know, opportunities are everywhere. It's just that you have to be open, and I think she was doing this part-time while she was just about completing her studies, or maybe she's writing her thesis, because I remember her mentioning that she got something with the office itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens more often. That's definitely true.
We have a question about the second round.
I'm waiting for my second round. Could you share any dates so that I can plan things accordingly? Maybe it's more for you.
So, Samantha, I'll get in touch with you regarding this. I'll call you tomorrow morning.
Easy. Maybe you can share if it's interested a bit about the global immersion project. Is that something that is part of the track choice that people are interested in? Ilse can talk a bit about that.
Yeah. So in November, December, you will choose for a track, and then we have 3 tracks in the program. So we have the digital track, the financial management track, and we have the global track. And well, quite at the end of the track, we will go on the global immersion program. I also call it a study trip. So it's basically also a study week where we go abroad with the whole track. So financial management goes to another destination than the global track, for instance. And then we will visit organizations, but we will also visit alumni, and you will work on cases or on different projects. So it's really quite an intense study week, but in another environment, in another culture, exploring the city a bit too, but also, well, really go into practice with everything you have learned in the last half year.
So generally, which all cities have the students gone recently?
Well, that's a good question, because we, of course, the world was looked very different for the last 2 years. So
it was closed.
There was an unlucky cohort that couldn't go abroad, and we stayed within the Netherlands. Then last year it was European cities, I believe.
We went to Milan in Italy, and we went to Paris in France. So we and to Berlin.
Berlin.
Yeah. And this year we really hope to travel a bit farther again. So hopefully we can visit the United States again.
Yeah.
And we are exploring now if that is possible.
Yeah. So before COVID hit, that was very common to go to New York, the Bay Area, but also Shanghai. And last year we stayed within Europe. But it really depends where the alumni are, where interesting things are happening, and where we can get most out of the trip for the students.
Hi Nina, Samarth here again.
Hi.
Hi. So another thing I was curious about was, you've been mentioning internships for the career opportunities. So for the MBA candidates, we're coming with about like minimum 3 years of work experience. Like we've already been in certain like executive or managerial roles. So in terms of like us graduating from there and getting our MBA, do you have to first do an internship, or do we like move to a managerial role? Is that a possibility, or like do you have to start from the start?
Look, I find it very difficult to really go in depth about, for you personally, about the MBA. I'm sorry about it, because that's a completely different program within Nyenrode, and I do not want to give you the wrong information. So to be honest, I wouldn't know, but I also wouldn't think so. I don't think you would need to start absolutely at the bottom for sure. You just need to be open for different things, different opportunities, different kind of companies. But as part of your time here at Nyenrode and what exactly it would entail, I find it very difficult to really go and answer that question. I mean, I can inform my colleagues from the MBA team to reach out to you, or to have some information coming your way.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great.
Not a problem. I can do that via Deepali. I think that might be.
Sure. So Samarth, I think the MBA program office has reached out to you for the interview session. After the interview is over, you could always ask whatever queries you have.
Got it.
And just to tell you a little bit, I've been in touch with the alumni. So it is not that you have to start from the bottom and go for an internship, but it's easier. What happens is, there the employment laws are very, very strict. They just can't hire you and then fire you after a month. So what they do initially is they take you kind of in a contract where they see your fit into the organization, and if it works well, they extend the contract and you get permanent employment. So I don't think it's got anything to do with the doing an internship. It's mandatory. A lot of people have managed to get jobs directly without any internships. But generally, in the past, where I've been connected with the alumni, I've seen the way is through internships. So, you're there for a while, the company sees the vibes, they see your work and everything, and that's when they take you in if you're fitting in well.
Got it.
And you would not have to start really at the bottom of the chain. Since you already have 3 years of experience, it will be more like mid-management kind of roles that you would be offered. But it will be best that on the day of the interview, please, all of you who have any questions, note them down so that you can get all your queries answered, because that's your time with the panel. They'll be more than happy to answer all your queries. If there's something that they don't have the answers to there and then, they'll definitely get back to you. So please just have everything, note down. As and when something comes, just make notes and be ready with the queries. And Shreya, to answer your question about the 3 years work experience, yes, they are very, very strict about it. You have to complete 3 years. 2.5 years will not work.
Is there another question for someone?
Not that I see them on the chat, so.
Well, I hopefully this small presentation and Q&A has sparked some interest. At least that would be excellent. We're always very happy with students coming from India. We have quite a few here on campus at the moment, so I would be very pleased to welcome you in January here in the Netherlands. It might be snowy again, like the video, and again, in the next couple of weeks and months, I'll be in touch to go over everything, to get you here with the right papers and to steer in the right direction when you're here. In the Netherlands, we like rules a lot. There's a lot of steps we need to take. You need to get registered at the council. You get your resident permit here, your bank details, everything. But these are things that we assist you with. So yeah. That's that.
Part of the program office, what we also do is we then keep them connected with the present students.
Yeah.
So a lot of queries get answered, like where to take insurance from, which bank to get an account, and housing or travel, all those kind of things. So please don't worry. The program office is there to help you. The alumni are there to help you. So whatever queries you have, you just have to ask us the questions, and we will. Of course, the program office, if they have the answers, they'll get in touch with you and clear those. Otherwise, the alumni are also there. I'm sure a lot of you are already connected with them. So you can write to them on LinkedIn, or if you want any specific person to talk to, I'm connected with most of the people from the last 8 to 9 years. So please, you can connect with me. I'll try and get their email address and phone number and hand it over to you. So just let us know where we can help you.
That's really nice. So there are a lot of ways to make contact and to get in touch and to learn more.
Yeah. Also to add on, with Brexit, a lot of companies are moving to Amsterdam. Yeah. So there are more and more opportunities. If you go and study in Nyenrode, and language is not that big barrier. And we have a huge alumni base of Nyenrode as well as SPJIMR, and they're always there to support you.
Yeah, definitely true.
In fact, in the last couple of years, I've seen that a lot of our GMP and Nyenrode students have joined in Rotterdam. So anybody who's got slight interest in supply chain and things like those, they're doing very well in that part. And then Hague definitely has a lot of them there.
And technical students and expats, Eindhoven, is a big hub there as well. And since we're such a small country, it really, everything is close by. All cities, if you find an amazing job in a different city, but you already live somewhere and you have your network somewhere, it's so easy. And that's one of the benefits as well. You can apply in every city if you find something that sparks your interest. One of the benefits of being a small country. All right. Well, I think this was it for us. If there's no other questions, unless there's something you would like for me to clarify, Deepali, or
I think whatever queries were there, Nina, you both have addressed them very well. So,
all right.
If you can please put down your email address on the chat. If anybody has any specific question, they can connect with you.
I'll do my admissions email address.
I think they all have it though.
Yeah, but still, but if it's other questions, of course, that's more than fine as well. So
just to make it clear, for Nyenrode, it's the program office which takes care of all your visa documentation.
Yeah.
Once everything is done, a mail comes to you. You just have to go to the embassy or the consulate and get your visa stamp. So that all is taken care of. Housing is taken care of. They'll connect you with the person who's in charge of housing. They'll guide you about the rooms and all those things are really well taken care of. The alumni can guide you on that front. So things are really, really smooth. It's just that you have to complete your applications and take admission, and then it's their job.
That's the only thing that we can't do for you, indeed.
True, Nina.
All right. Well, thanks. Thank you for organizing this, Deepali, and for everyone to have joined. My apologies for the MBA questions that we couldn't answer, but I'm sure you get your answers at some point via my colleagues. I have no doubt, and we might see you here in Breukelen as well.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
So last opportunity, if anybody has any question, I'm giving you another 30 seconds to ask it. Otherwise, we log out.
I have a question.
Okay.
Just in time. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry that I didn't ask it before.
So,
actually, the thing is that I work with, as you mentioned, that people who are working with the supply chains. Supply chain management.
Ravi, please mute yourselves. Thank you. Please go ahead, Arui.
So, as Nina mentioned about the supply chain management, and right now I'm working with supply chain management, and I work with a bigger brand like ACCREDITATIONS, and the client is also based out of Netherlands. So once I do the course from Nyenrode, so what are my chances that I pitch into the bigger brands? And as you said that, I have to enroll myself into internships and then, prove my credibility, and then they will assess me on the basis of it. And that's how it works. So when I already have 4 years of experience into something like that, so what kind of an effort I have to put after I complete this kind of a course?
To remain at Accenture, you mean, or in general to get into one of the larger companies?
I'm asking about any of the bigger companies, not necessarily with the same firm. I'm asking for any other.
Look, I find it very hard to, give you an exact number of exactly predict what's going to happen. Like Deepali mentioned as well here, it's very common that, when you, how to word this properly, if you're willing to maybe start somewhere that is not directly your first choice, it's very easy to then move on to other bigger and better places for sure. If your resume already has a name that is very familiar, that opens doors much easier. It's also easier, if you know the people within the company, go there, talk to them, go to different, network opportunities. There's a lot of things organized here with the bigger multinationals and companies to get in. But of course, it all falls and stands with what you put in there. It's really, we're a culture where you can be a little bit direct and where you can put yourself in the foreground and be very like, hey, you need me for your company. So that is something that might be a bit scary for some people, but this actually is the way to do it. And that is something that we constantly tell our students as well, like, don't be afraid to, to put yourself out there and go the direction that you want to go. And we are really here to guide you through that, to give you the tools and the means to do so. But it really does end up like, the effort that you put in that really decides if you get the job or not. I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's a little bit how it goes in Dutch culture.
Aravi, can I just add on to what Nina said? Also, things like LinkedIn, it really works wonders. You have to be active now. You have to, like, if you already don't have a LinkedIn account, all of you please have one and start connecting with people, because this is how you will be there. And a lot of, I've seen people doing this, that they reach out when they see any openings, they reach out to the people and get their CV to the right person. I mean, that's the most important thing to happen. So you need to be connected to the alumni of Nyenrode, of GMP, connect with people. And I mean, I've heard that, the cultures are very different. You could actually write to a CEO saying, like, can we meet for a coffee? And he might say yes. So you'll have to put in a lot of effort. And people are doing amazing. If you go through the profiles that we've shared of our alumni who've done the joint program, you'll be amazed at the kind of organizations and the locations and the designations they're working in.
Yeah.
So, they've kind of invented the wheel. So you don't need to go through that same process. You have to just reach out and, learn from their experiences and do well. They would be more than happy to teach you how to do cover letters, how to prepare for the interviews, but it's up to you to reach out and say, hey, please, I need some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nina, and thanks, Deepali. That answers my question. Yeah, I understood everything. Thank you so much.
Add on, recently, our students, who had gone there, they won some competition organized by TCS Netherlands. So you win competition, you participate in competition, that builds your CV.
True.
And these days, there are a lot of Indian companies also having sizable business in Netherlands.
Yeah.
So your India experience plus your study in Netherlands, add up to your CV.
Yeah.
And Arohit, it could be, you might make a humble start, but you could actually get into the big fives also. It maybe you'll not be a consultant day one in a top 5 company, but over a period of time, a year or two, when you work on your skills, another thing is, keep adding on to your skills. Not that you've just completed your studies and then you're working, so that's the end of it. No, in today's day and age, you need to keep enhancing your skills, and that's what keeps you on the top. So all this, we'll have another session with the alumni. You can probably have your questions ready. It's going to be somewhere around mid of May. We'll get in touch with you and we'll inform you about it. Yeah, so I think our time is up. We'll have to say bye-bye to Nina.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I could could talk to you. And yeah, again, I look forward to see many applications and help you with the next steps for sure. And then we might welcome you here in the Netherlands.
Thank you, both of you. And I'll stay in touch with you. I've just messaged you. If you can go through that and reply to me over an email, that will really help.
Perfect.
Thank you too.
Okay. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you to all the participants for joining in, and good day to both of you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.